As a busy homemaker for my family of 6 and a homeschool mom and a work from home mom, I really function better when I have a good plan. I love to plan my menus. I love to plan my days. I love to plan our homeschool. However, sometimes life is just happening and I don't have time to make that plan. And this week I have no menu planned and I need to just look around my house and figure out what we have in the garden, what we have available to us to feed my family. So I hope you'll come along with me today and get some ideas for maybe what you can make in your kitchen when you don't have a menu planned. On this particular day, I was out in the yard trying to find some inspiration, seeing what was growing, and noticed that I had some purple basil that really needed to be harvested and used up. So I decided to make a basil iced tea. It's one of our favorites. I have my recipe and instructions on my blog at tidbitsandcompany.com if you want to check that out. But the funnest thing happened with this purple basil. I've never made a tea with purple basil before, but it turned the water the most beautiful purple blue color. It was so delightful and my whole family loved it. So this was part of our meal, part of snacks throughout the day, just to get a nice refreshing cool drink of basil tea. So refreshing and nourishing, and the color just made it extra special. So for dinner that night, I really had to get creative, and I was digging through my freezers to see what we had, and I found or remembered that I had chopped up some of the hills from our sourdough bread to later make into croutons. And so it gave me the inspiration to throw together maybe a yummy salad, a chicken salad for this night. So it worked great. I got to use those frozen bits of bread that maybe we might be tempted to just throw out because no one eats, but instead you can chop them up, freeze them, cover them with olive oil, a bunch of herbs and seasonings, and toast them, and it makes for the most delicious croutons. I also remembered that I had a couple of bags of potatoes sitting in the fridge, and so we pulled those out. Potatoes are always great to have in hand, especially if you don't like to menu plan. There's so many things you can do with them to get creative. For this night, I just wanted to keep it simple, and I diced them up into small bite-sized pieces, covered them with olive oil, seasoning, salt and pepper, herbs, and roasted them. This is something that my kids really love with potatoes. Is just some roasted potatoes. Something really easy you can almost pull off anytime if you just keep potatoes stocked in your house. Something we love to keep on hand are these chicken breast strips from Butcher Box. They have really clean ingredients. They're like the cleanest chicken strips that I've been able to find. They're a little bit on the pricier side, so I try to use them sparingly, but they're just nice to have on these nights where I don't have a plan and need to throw something together really quickly. I also had some lettuce that was borderline about ready to be done for, so I took the opportunity to chop it up and use it for our salad. I find salads are also great when you just have a lot of random vegetables in the fridge that need to get used up. So this was an opportunity to make sure those didn't go to waste. However, when I was looking around for a dressing to go with our salad, I realized I did not have one, so I got creative. We did have some blue cheese in the fridge, and so I played around with this. I don't really have an official recipe, but I threw in some blue cheese, some yogurt, some mayonnaise, salt and pepper, some lemon juice, and I just blended this up. It was so creamy and delicious on this salad, and I'm definitely going to keep this idea in my back pocket. Dressings are really surprisingly easy to mix up once you just understand the base of them. You can grab what you have in the fridge, blend it up, and you have a dressing. And once these chicken strips were all toasted, I chopped them up so that we could just throw them right on top of the salad with a side of these crispy potatoes. It was a delicious meal, nothing too fancy, but it came together very easily and was something that you could do easily if you have these simple staple ingredients already in your home. I want to take a minute to tell you about today's video sponsor, MaryRuth. Super excited to be talking about their company. I'm a huge fan of their products and what they create. If you're looking for something to support you in your health and wellness, you may want to check out MaryRuth's Organics. Of course, I always think that the foods we eat and getting the right nutrients from our foods is super important. I always tell my kids, actually, they get really tired of me saying, you are what you eat. But that is really so true. The foods that we eat, the supplements we take, the nourishment we provide for our body can have a huge impact in our health. So if you're looking for some wellness essentials, let me share a few of these MaryRuth products that we have and I've been trying. And whether you're wanting to restock on some supplements and products from MaryRuth, or this is a first for you, I will have a link and a code down in the description that you can head over and get 20% off on their site, or if you're buying them from Amazon. So I'll have those links for you in the description below. Oh, I also should mention, I love the September focus over at MaryRuth. They are focusing on beauty from within, which again, you are what you eat. So if you can nourish your insides, it reflects a lot on what you see outside. So whether you're wanting healthier hair, nails, skin, there's some great products for you. One of them that I want to tell you about is their Liquid Morning Multivitamin and Hair Growth. This contains Lostriva, which is clinically shown to help grow thicker, fuller hair, improve facial lines, wrinkles, and smoothness. So this can be a great morning multivitamin for you to try if you're looking for that kind of support. One that I have been trying this week and loving is their Liquid Nighttime Multi-Mineral. This can support your sleep, relaxation, bone health. I have it in the flavor Coconut Dream. And I actually made the mistake of trying this for the first time before my family wanted to do a movie night. I got really tired really fast, so it worked pretty good. And I'm glad to have this for those nights that I'm really having a hard time sleeping. And of course, it's cold and flu season, so you may want to think about getting something that will help support your immune system. I love elderberry for that, so I'm excited to have these liquid drops. I do like to make homemade elderberry syrups, but I'm about to send my daughter on an 18-month mission, and I'm excited to have some drops that she can take with her and just have on hand for whenever she needs it. So they have some great herbal supplements over at MaryRuth Organics that can help you support your immune system, and elderberry is always a great one. Another couple of products that we have in our home are these kids multivitamin gummies. My kids have a terrible time swallowing anything, so I'm always looking for a great gummy to help them with their multivitamins. And then we're trying this turmeric probiotic. I'm a big fan of anything with turmeric in it, and if they can add probiotics, which help us with our microbiome and healthy gut, I'm a big fan. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed hearing a little bit more about MaryRuth. Again, check out the link down in the description below and the code, and that will save you 20% off site-wide at MaryRuth Organics or on their Amazon shop, which I will link for you below. Lunchtime can also get tricky if you don't have things prepared or some sort of menu plan. But when I was looking in the freezer, I remembered or saw that we had some frozen cauliflower, and it sparked this idea to make our favorite pumpkin smoothie. And it's so great because you get pumpkin, you get cauliflower, so you've already got some vegetable servings inside of the smoothie, and it's so delicious. I will leave the link below in the description for you if you want to try making it. But it's basically any kind of milk base you want, some pumpkin puree, frozen cauliflower. If you have frozen zucchini, you can also add that. Some frozen bananas, and then vanilla, some spices. I like to use pumpkin pie spice to get that yummy pumpkin flavor, and then you just blend it up. We like to serve this in like smoothie bowl style. So I pour it in a bowl, so it's a little bit on the thicker side. You can always add more bananas or cauliflower if you want it to be thicker. But I put it in the bowl. We love to layer some granola in there, some bananas. I love to sprinkle cocoa nibs on top and then sprinkle it with a little more pumpkin pie spice, a drizzle of honey. It's quite delicious. And it came together so quick and easy. It's just a good recipe to have in mind for the early fall season where you're not necessarily cold, but you're craving some of those yummy fall flavors that we all love. Now this particular night, it actually worked out that I didn't have a menu plan because we ended up jumping in the truck with my husband to go with him on a sauna delivery. And we stopped in Brigham City. I don't know if you've ever been there during peach days, but it is so much fun. They have tons of produce stands. Everything is like peach themed. And of course, there's so much produce, specifically peaches. And we absolutely love peaches and take advantage of this time of year and try to get sick of them. So I grabbed a whole box for us just to eat. We like to freeze peaches for smoothies, bottle them up for later in the winter. But this was a fun outing to do as a family, to immerse ourselves in peaches and fresh produce. And I was able to stock up on some to use throughout the rest of the week. But if you ever get a chance to go to Brigham City during peach days, it's a delight. And sorry, I should clarify, this is Brigham City, Utah. Peaches grow great here and they're so delicious. And there's a restaurant called Maddox that's across the street from a lot of these produce stands. That is where we ended up eating dinner. It's a once a year opportunity for us and we had a great time. So sometimes not having a menu plan can lead to spur of the moment, enjoyable times as a family as you kind of let go of some of your structure and just enjoy the day together. I was also thrilled to see the lavender apple products. There's a lavender apple farm close to where we live, and it's always inspiring to see what they're creating with their lavender. Now with all those peaches at home, I had to make our fresh peach pie. And I make like a pretty healthy version of peach pie. So I would justify this as a breakfast or a nice lunch, but it worked for today. Oh, we just love peaches so much and we try to eat so much of them during peach season that we are okay to not have them for the rest of the year. So definitely check the description below. I'll give you my fresh peach pie recipe, and if peaches are still in season where you're at, definitely try it out and let me know what you think. I'll also share with you my favorite pie crust recipe. I'm using freshly milled soft white wheat for this recipe. And for the fat, I love to use coconut oil. I have found that it makes the most delicious flaky crust. So yummy. So I will leave that recipe in the description below. If you were here in my fall thrift haul video last week, you saw that I got these Pampered Chef stone pie pans. I absolutely love them. A lot of times if you don't have pie weights, but even then sometimes when you cook your pie, it will kind of shrink down and the crust won't stay along the edge. Well, I made up this pie crust with the Pampered Chef stone and it didn't do that. It all stayed in one spot with no pie weights needed. Turned out beautiful. So I'm really, really happy about these pie plates that I found at the thrift store. And for the glaze on the peaches, I'm simply using some brown sugar and seasoning, and then we got some raw milk from the dairy and made it into whipping cream sweetened with syrup. Delicious, a lot healthier option, and it's just our favorite treat this time of year. Another night this week, my family said they were craving hamburgers. It's like the perfect temperature for grill season now that it's cooled down a little bit. So I got to work making some hamburger buns so I didn't have to run to the store. And of course I used my Nutri-Mill to freshly grind some hard white wheat to make it into hamburger buns. I have the recipe on my blog as well. I'll link you to it, but they are so delicious, especially like fresh baked that day makes for the absolute best hamburger. You can also use this recipe to make hot dog buns as well. But the recipe is really simple. You just get some warm water. I like to use sucanat sugar. It's a more pure sugar form, and then you add in some yeast. Today I'm using an instant yeast and seeing how that will work for these hamburger buns. I like to use olive oil for the oil, an egg, some salt, then you mix all this liquid up. And I also like to add a little bit of sunflower lecithin. That just makes your bread so much fluffier and stretchier without adding extra gluten. And friends, I'm actually looking at this flour now. I'm pretty sure I used hard red wheat for this recipe. I mentioned before it was hard white wheat, but this looks like hard red wheat, which also works great because it has so much protein in it, so it forms that gluten structure really nicely. If you're new to freshly milled grains and making your own flour, I have a great blog post that goes through the benefits and the supplies you might need to do that. So definitely check that out if you want to get into it, but I highly recommend it. It's not only tastes absolutely amazing, it's a lot more nutritious. So we like to use that whenever possible. When I make hamburger buns, it's nice to let it rise for like 20 minutes and then you kind of do the stretch and fold similar to what you would do with sourdough. I find that just helps develop that gluten structure better, gives it a nice chewy texture, and works great. So I like to be a little specific, and I will weigh my portions of the dough so that I can get kind of more uniform size of hamburger buns. That's just something that I like to be picky about, but you don't have to. But I do about 3 ounces for each hamburger bun portion. But you basically shape them just like you would a dinner roll, but it helps to kind of push them down, which I almost forgot to do while I was putting on the egg wash. But if you just gently push down, make it kind of more of a hamburger bun shape, that helps with the size and shape of it. But then once you put on the egg wash, which is just egg yolk and some water mixed up real good, I like to top it with some sesame seeds, gives a nice little crunch, and definitely makes it look like store-bought hamburger buns, but they taste way better. Now I have a confession to make. I do not love to make anything meat involved, so I usually get Mr. Tidbits involved here, and he's gonna make our hamburger patties for us. This is from the cow that we raised ourselves. Such amazing meat, and we're so grateful to have it. You saw me sprinkle lavender in this meat, and that's our little secret. It just makes hamburgers so good. To round out this meal, we also cooked up some green beans that I got from the farmer's market, corn on the cob, and it was a delicious meal to enjoy together. No menu plan required. I hope you enjoyed following along today with me as we cooked without a menu plan, and I hope it led to some inspiration and encouraged you to just find what you have in the home and see what you can create. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back very soon to share more inspiration for the keeper of the home.